back. Trade's still setting up great. We're getting some wicks to the top side, looking like market's trying to figure out exactly where it wants to go. And it's looking like that resistance to the top is pulling us further down. But we're gonna keep waiting. 15-minute chart looks pretty solid here. We did had a lot of buying on that, but we're not breaking through that resistance there. 5 minutes looking like it's starting to try and turn back down, do the next leg down. So we are set up great. We're back live. Everything's back working. So we are just going to continue watching this trade. Again, if you had to go and you just wanted to call this trade here, we've been trading for almost an hour now, and we're probably about 600 something in profit. You could just call this a day. And if you did that a couple days of the week, you'd make over $1,000 in a week, and that's good part-time money if you're only trading, an hour to even 2 hours a day. I don't think anybody would complain about that. But we've got some more time here, so we're just going to let this trade continue setting up. Again, like I was saying before, Market Insights Trading Trends, that's our newsletter. We track everything live on Collective 2. We've been giving out around 5 trade ideas per week for about a year now. We are consistently beating the S&P 500, and that even includes missing some of our best plays on Collective 2. There's at least 4 or 5 trades I know of that I was able to post about in the newsletter, but due to getting the newsletter out and handling all of that, as far as the business side, we were unable to put the trades into Collective 2 on time, and by the time we got to it on the next day, which would have been Friday morning, the stocks had already gapped up and our plays were already in profit. And I do know some of our subscribers messaged us and they did get profit from those plays, and some of them I personally profited from because I had them in my personal account, because I'm always sure to put my trade ideas into my personal account. Um, just didn't get around to putting them in Collective 2, so we missed those on the Collective 2 account, but it is still beating the S&P 500, which, if you know anything about the stock market, the S&P 500 has been doing great for the past couple years. When we hit all-time highs earlier this year in about January, right before or right at the beginning of February, that range, the markets were at all-time highs and we were still outperforming them. So um, I don't I don't know what else to say about the newsletter there. I think that sells it pretty well. Again, there's a free version, so you don't have to pay. You can get in there, see our trade ideas, get the weekly insights, get into these lives, get the day trading knowledge. And if you gain anything from those free plays, a couple of the free plays we give out each week profit anywhere from 100 to as high as $1,000, and I've seen in a week. So you hit one of those plays with a free subscription, use a little bit of that to upgrade to a paid subscription. It pays for itself. That's how we like to structure the newsletter. We don't want you wasting money. We want you gaining and making more money, ideally, than you spend with us. So give it a look. We'll be publishing our next edition tomorrow. We publish every Thursday at 2:55 to 3 p.m., somewhere around there. We want to give you, an hour at least before markets close to get those trades in and get set up, because, like I said, a lot of the trades, we put them in Thursday evening, and then by Friday morning, they've already gapped up and hit target one. Our trade here on futures is looking great. We're pushing back down a little bit lower. Like to see this one close down here. That'll show that we're probably going to continue moving. 3 minute, if we don't get a close lower here, this is kind of starting to look like it's trying to fight back up. So we're going to move our stop down just a little bit here, trying to get, like I said, that guaranteed 500 in profit. We want to lock that in, without taking away our chance of hitting more downside here, because, like I said, it does look like it's trying to push down. It's just, will it happen, or will those buyers step in and push us higher? I don't want to have to predict that. I want to be set up for either scenario. If this pushes higher, we get out, we're in guaranteed profit. If it continues lower, we'll take the extra money. Again, if you're in the chat, on any platform besides YouTube, there's a large chance I will not see your comment. Go ahead, switch over to our YouTube at Market Insights and Trading Trends. Just search in the search bar, the live will come up. And go ahead and drop any questions, comments, anything like that in the chat there, and I'll be sure to, uh, I'll see them and I'll be able to respond to them. If anybody watching this now, in the future, whatever it may be, if you're into AI, anything involving AI, business automation, OpenQual, N8N, Make.com, using ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, those type of things, go ahead and check out my personal channel at Kyle Tusing on YouTube. I'm going to start posting a lot of AI content there as I continue to build not only my business, but other businesses using AI, using AGI, automated agents, things like OpenClaw, Hermes, if anybody's familiar with that. We'll be doing a lot of building on there. Hopefully going to be doing some live sessions on there, just showing everybody what I'm building. So if you're interested in that, check that out. I'll be sure to link this in. If you're watching a replay or whatever video, I'll have it linked in the description below. You can just check out our channel there. Um, yeah, so if you're interested in AI, you can check that out there. If you want to talk about stocks, do Q&A, anything like that, go ahead and go over to our YouTube channel, drop a question, we'll get it answered there. Again, we're just waiting, watching, seeing if this trade plays out. We already made money on it. It's already setting up to potentially give us some more. We just have to wait and see how it plays out. The 15-minute is looking great. We're still getting good resistance up here. We're not breaking through anything. 5-minute is respecting this moving average and not closing above it, which we like to see. The 3-minute is setting up like it's trying to push us a little bit higher, but again, that's the lowest time frame we're using here. As long as this 5-minute continues respecting this, I see no reason to get out of this trade. I'm just gonna let it go and see if we can profit. Again, we are going to try and do these lives a little more often. Try and get some throughout the week, because just sticking to our routine of Mondays only can be a little difficult, especially in the market like we're having now, where we get a lot of consolidation until there's big news and something that actually moves the market. And that's why I wanted to potentially go live today. Wednesdays have been pretty good so far. We get a lot of news either Tuesday or Wednesday. And again, last night we got that ceasefire news from the Trump tweet, and right now it's paying off. We got a great long last night that paid out about 1,800, and now we're up a little over 500 on the day off this short, off the early morning session. So we want to make sure we're able to catch these moves and get some real good live trades in with everyone that's watching, and just to continue building my experience as a trader and as a live trader, because trading live with everyone else is a completely different experience than just trading on my own. Brings in its own emotional issues and things you have to deal with while trading live. So practicing my craft, becoming a better trader overall, becoming better at explaining my trades, explaining my thinking to everyone watching, and hopefully some of you were able to get this trade with me and make some money. Even if it was, $200. $200 a day over 5 days a week, you could make $1,000 a week, and $200 a day in the stock market, you can make very quickly. I think we got up $200 within the first 4 or 5 minutes we were in this trade. So you could have just closed there, said, all right, good day, came back, did that the next day, and did that 5 times throughout the week, and you're good. So there's many ways you can, get to the same profit, or get to profit that makes you happy for the time you're putting into it. Again, it's all about finding a strategy that's right for you, sticking to it, adhering to it, and executing. We're definitely going to close this stream by about 11 probably at the latest, but that still gives us a little over half an hour for this to play out. It's looking like it really wants to do it sooner than that, but again, we're just going to have to sit here and wait and watch until this next move happens. Could be getting a nice play here at this continues and breaks down lower. Again, we're pushing back into 300 profit on this last half of this position here. And it's looking like this trade is going to play out beautifully. Continuing to push lower. We just don't want to see this continue to wick back up. We want to see some continuation here. That's what we keep getting, is just wick to the downside and then push back up. That is what we call chop or consolidation, and we hate to see that. We want to see continuation. We want to see this close down here somewhere and then push us lower to this next level. Next level could be right here where we have this take profit. It could be all the way down here. It just depends on how big of a move we're going to make here. Looking at the 15, I'm thinking right here where I have this next where we're going to take half of the remaining position off. That's probably going to be somewhere where we find support is right around in here. But again, if we get that extended move down to here, I want to make sure we're positioned to take more profit off the table, and like I said, have that one last contract that we may leave running the rest of the day. If these hit, I may switch this, stop loss to a 1, and I might move it right here at this level and call it a day, and we'll hop off the charts. We can go over some of our selections for our newsletter last week and how they're doing. We can do some Q&A really quick, but then we'll be calling it a day as far as trading is concerned. Coming back here to the 3-minute chart. We're looking a little bit better, but again, this close is higher than this close, so if this 3-minute candle could close somewhere down here, I'd feel a little bit better about our trade. But again, trying to stick us in that consolidation for the time being. And consolidation, I will say, as a trader, is one of the worst things you can be stuck in. We're luckily already in profit, so it's not as big of a deal, but if you were to, tried to sell on this candle and you sold somewhere right here, well, now you'd be basically break even and you would have been in the trade for 20-25 minutes. That's why entry is so crucial and important. We saw the signal for the short up here on this 15-minute candle. We got this lucky pushback on this wick. We saw the resistance again, we acted there, and that's why we're in this move, and that's why we entered there. Gave us great entry timing. We were early enough in the market that we were still getting good volume, still getting a good move, and now we are positioned for ideally this next leg down that's looking like it's trying to take place here. 3-minute did close above that level, but now this 3 minutes pushing back lower, so we'll see where this one closes at. We got a minute left before that candle closes, and that's going to tell us a lot about our setup and where this chart's hopefully going to continue moving and not continue consolidating. Yep, again, just watching it here, we're now at 412. We want to see that push above like 450, and that would be a breakthrough of here, which would be key for this next level down to our take profit. But we got a great close here. That's a 3-minute close lower than any of these. It's also a 5-minute close below that level, still above support here, but this is shaping up great to continue to the next leg down. So that's all we're going to watch for here. See if we can continue lower. just quickly review a trade from our newsletter that we gave out. This is a trade we probably gave out a couple weeks ago, um, but just want to see how we're doing. So yeah, we gave it out. Let me see. I got entry at 279. So I think I entered. I think I entered somewhere here. Oh, we just closed half of that position. There's some more profit. Let me see here what we're looking at. Yeah. So while we were checking that trade, 15-minute, we broke down through those levels. Now all we're looking for is for the 3-minute to be the first to close somewhere below this support. But we already took two more off the table. So that is essentially our whole position closed out as far as what we put in that wasn't going to be considered a running position. So now we're holding on to two runner contracts. I'll take one more off the board here, and that last one, like I say, we could just leave running for the rest of the day if this continues to look like it's going to push to the downside. I moved our two stops, our stop for our two contracts we have left. Move that down a little bit more, lock in more guaranteed profit. But now we're well above 500 on the day. We're probably with this, if we were to close it now, right around 1,000 off this move. So that's a great day. Uh, we've been trading for just about an hour, or we've been on the charts for just about an hour. We've been trading for less than an hour, and we're right around $1,000, $800 guaranteed profit on the day. It's a great day. So we are we're going to keep these running positions going because, like I said, we're breaking down below here. We want to see what this move continues to. I'm going to leave this chart here for a second, and we're going to switch back over to what we were talking about here with Western Digital Corporation, which was a Market Insights and Trading Trends newsletter play that we gave out a while ago. Like I said, my entry was around 279, almost 280. So somewhere down here, I want to say probably honestly on this candle. I probably saw this pullback and I entered on this day. What was that? Monday, March 30th. Yeah, somewhere in here is where I entered. And then we got a nice gap up today to nearly getting 350, which I believe was my first target. I'm going to actually pull up our newsletter and I'm going to give you the exact levels that we gave out in the Market Insights and Trading Trends newsletter. Let me see here. Western Digital Corporation was a paid play, and we wanted 305 was our first target, and 325 was actually our second target. So we now have smashed through every single target that we had, and we almost hit 350, which would be the very last target I would take. But we're actually just going to go ahead and close that out on our side because we hit all of our targets. We could be greedy. We could wait for that 350 extended target, but we'll go ahead and close that and take profits there. So again, anybody who is Market Insights and Trading Trends newsletter subscriber and you've been in that WDC trade, congrats. We hit all of the targets and some, and you have plenty of profits from that. And right there, that was over a $50 move, correct? Yeah, from below 300 to 350. So over a $50 move that nearly, if you only had one singular share, that would have been enough to pay for almost a year of paid subscription to Market Insights and Trading Trends. So like I said, the idea is for the newsletter to pay for itself. You can follow the free trades, make enough money to pay for the subscription, and use that to pay for the paid plan, or you can get the paid plan, and that will even quit even faster pay off what it cost. So again, we are waiting for this live trade to end, but this is our day. Um, we're pushing past now. We're pushing past 1,000 profit. Um, we really just want to see this last one get hit here, so we can leave our last runner going. It's looking like it's really moving that way. We're getting confirmation on the 15-minute chart that we're trying to break down here and hit that next level. So this is a beautiful trade. I was glad I was able to catch this one live with everybody today. Again, we're getting ready to wrap up here. Probably got a few more minutes left on this live stream before this take profit hits and we leave our last one just set as a running position. If you want updates on where we close this out, what happened the rest of the day, follow us on either Twitter X, or you can follow my LinkedIn. On X, it's either at K2Sing34, or we also have the MITT newsletter account. If you just look up K2Sing34, you'll be able to find the rest of our accounts that way. Additionally, on LinkedIn, also just look up Kyle Tusing. You'll find my account. Post a lot of stuff there, post a lot of updates, a lot of stock stuff on there for all of the professionals and anybody who's interested in that. We will make sure to post updates on this running position uh, on there. Once we close out our day, we'll update with what our final profit was. But this was a really nice and easy session. Again, like I said, off the news, we caught this long on this side last night. We saw the resistance, we saw the selling early on this morning, and now we're catching the short, essentially off this 15-minute algorithm where we got this sell signal right up here that you see. Again, that's from my Alpine indicator. If you're interested in that, you can go ahead and send me a message and I can get you a link to get access to that. And yeah, it's a pretty nice indicator. It gives me these support and resistance levels, gives me the sell signals, sometimes gives buy signals if there's a good reason for it. Let's see. Yeah, see. So last night you would have gotten a buy signal, and then we never really looked back from there until today, where we're now pulling back lower. So really, on this 15-minute chart here, that's 2 for 2 on the algorithm. If you would have taken both those trades, you would have made a lot of money. So it works really well on these higher time frames. 15 minutes a really good one. If you get an hourly signal, that's a really strong one, but that's also harder to get. And I mean, it's not always right. See, we have an hourly here that fired that you would have profited some, but then quickly went into not being in profit. But that'd have been all about how you managed your trade. I prefer it on the 15. That gives me some of the strongest signals. You see the signal on the 15, and then like we did for this trade up here, we saw this. We came to the 5. We saw it pull back up. We took our shorts, and we profited all along the way on the way down. It's as easy as that. Now we'll go and enter this in our journal. We'll be able to write exactly what we saw. We'll be able to put our profit, our loss, exactly how it played out. And next live stream, I will actually have it set up, hopefully, to where I can give you guys a live demonstration of what that journal and dashboard will look like while we're trading. I don't have it pulled up right now, and it's going to take too much to try and load it. Like I said, it is an Excel sheet with a lot of formulas, a lot of code kind of things running in the background that if you open it with too many tabs, too many things happening on your computer, won't make your computer too happy. Because I am running this live stream, I have camera going, multiple screens going. I'm trading. I have Collective 2 open on my laptop. I have my newsletter open on my laptop. There's a lot of things trying to run. If I was to try and open that Excel sheet, I'm afraid it would potentially crash what we have going here. So I'm not going to do that today, but I will have it set up to where next live session that we do, I'll be able to go ahead and journal everything right there and show you guys exactly how the journal, the calculator, all of it works and how you can use it to become a better and more profitable trader, and how I've used it to track my own processes, get my own data on myself, and understand how I can become a better trader, where I make mistakes, where my flaws are as a trader, and learn from them and grow from them. And from that, that is what you get. You get the results of $1,000 day, quick and easy trades, and barely ever even going in the drawdown. I think this position went negative for I mean, we can run the live back and calculate it exactly, but maybe a minute, maybe minute and a half, 2 minutes, was the most we were negative on this trade, and now we have over 1,000 in profit from it. So trading works if you stick with it. You just have to be disciplined, and continue to get better every day until you reach a point that you can be consistently profitable. If it was easy, everybody would do it, um, but I think it's easier than some people make it out to be, and you don't have to be a genius in order to be a good trader. I know plenty of people who uh, would not be considered smart by traditional terms, but they're really good traders. And honestly, that may even make you a better trader because when you go to trade, you don't want to have to use much thinking. You want it just to be execution, following your plan, and not having to make decisions, because when you have to make decisions on the fly and you're trying to decide whether you should buy or sell and you're just making that decision right at that moment, it's going to be a lot harder to make good, clean, clear judgment and make good decisions. So having a plan that makes it less making decisions and more just, my plan says I do this, I do this. My plan says not to take this trade, I don't take this trade. I'm not thinking, I'm just following. I'm following a set of rules, I'm following a set of guidelines, whatever it may be, and I just execute. I don't have to think. I saw that setup. I didn't really think. I put it in. I was taking the trade. I had everything set up, and I was like, I could be forcing this, because then I looked at the time, and I was like, the time is not aligned. But again, I see the setup, I see the trade. The risk to reward is clear. I take the trade. I don't have to think too much. And even when I did start thinking, I thought I may be forcing this trade. I thought about it. Like I said, I would probably journal that. And if the trade went wrong, that could be something I could reflect on. But now that the trade went right, that's also something I reflect on, that I followed my process. I followed through with what I said I would do as far as trading my strategy. Um, I ignored that our time wasn't perfect how I'd like it. We weren't, past that 10 o'clock time frame, but the trade played out. We stuck to what our strategy said, and we're in profit. So, again, I think this is going to continue lower. We're getting a small bounce back here, but this kind of tried to find support really in a middle of these two levels that I don't think is going to hold. And realistically, this is probably just a temporary pullback on a 3 minute to finally hit this right here, and that's where we might get a little bit better of a bounce up. But again, not predicting, just following what my trade's doing. Probably going to move this one down just a little bit more. We'll go for there to there for now. I don't want to get stopped out on something silly, on a silly wick that comes up into here and then comes right back down. So we'll leave it right above these levels that it could not break through. Um, and so if it breaks through those, whatever, we'll get out. But another week to the top side here, looking like we're gonna push lower, looking like we're gonna close this out for another about 250 per, probably, per contract by the time we get down there. Let me see. If we sell one, take profit down here. Okay, so one, almost 200. So for two, that would be, we'd be at about 332. It's already 800. That'd be like $1,100 on the day once it hits that spot down there. So again, like I said, you could go ahead and close this for the day. If you got in the initial trade with us, you're up well over $1,000 on the day. Like I said, we caught an earlier move for about 1,800. Caught this one for about 1,000, so we're up about 2,800 total off those two moves. That's literally two trades, one last night, one this morning, $2,800. It's really as simple as that. These wins can compound very quickly, and it's mainly just preserving your capital and making sure your losses can't wipe out those wins. If I would have taken trades yesterday and lost $1,000, I would only be up, I'd be up $1,000 again today. But if you would have went and really went full tilt and lost $2,000, then you're just digging yourself out of a hole, and now you're only up a couple $100 a day, and it really makes a great win not feel that great. So controlling those losses and making those losses small is key, so that the big wins and the small wins can compound and make you profit. You can lose $200 for a week straight, and you're only down 1,000, and you have one good day where you hit a play like this and you make 1,000, and now one day wiped out a whole week of losses. That feels a lot better than one day barely wiping out or barely taking a chunk out of a 1 day loss, you know. Because then it makes it a lot harder if you're already down 1,000 and you come here and you hit for 200. It's like, oh great, now I'm only down 800. That doesn't really seem very, doesn't seem that great. And so you're going to keep chasing, and that's where you can really get into that emotional cycle of trying to revenge trade, trying to get back what you lost. So controlling losses is key. The smaller your losses can be, the better you're going to be in the long term. If you can manage yourself to $200 a day, $250 a day, then when you only make $200 a day, you're at least making up that loss. And there we go. We hit that last one we had there. Now we are just going to let this run. I am going to move my stop down. We're going to go right there, 1550. But there it is. It's as easy as that. There is pretty much a guaranteed $1,000 day. We've been trading now for just about an hour. We probably entered this trade right about 9:45. Now it's 10:45. That's $1,000 in an hour. That's a pretty good earning rate, and you could just call it a day here, and that would be your trading day. Um, and some people would have even maybe called a week, $1,000 a week. You could have traded one day, made $1,000, and that's a great side hustle, side project, whatever you want to call it, until you can consistently trade, at a full time pace and offset your income or whatever your goal is. But I don't have much else to cover here. Nobody's coming over into the YouTube chat to ask questions or make any comments or concerns. So I'm hoping somebody out there caught this trade with us, whether it was on a prop firm account, whether it be a funded account or just your test account. If you're on a test account, this would have been a great start to it. I know those 50K challenges usually have about a $3,000 profit target. So right here, one trade, $1,000 real quick. Do that two more times, you're there. You didn't break any consistency rules because 1,000 out of 3 grand, you're not over 50. I don't even think you're over 40% of your profit goal. So for most of those prop firm accounts, this trade would have been a great one. And hopefully either got some people some payouts or got you closer to get a funded account so you can get a payout. Again, that's what we're doing here. This account is for live trading only. We only trade this one when we're live, unless I make a mistake and accidentally put a trade in when I'm not live. But I try to make sure that doesn't happen. Try to make sure I'm picking the right accounts. No promises. Might make some trades here and there that are accidentally on the wrong account. But if I do, I'll be sure to let everybody know. For the time being, these have only been our live trades here. Yeah, and so far, this has been our best day so far live trading. Um, Hopefully, some people, like I said, caught it with us. If you're new here, subscribe to Market Insights Trading Trends. Again, it's free. It's on Substack. It's one weekly newsletter. For the time being, we may be upping that. We may be pushing out more editions, more features if people, let us know that they want more, or if you guys give us any input on, what would help you become a better trader. Because again, that's the end goal here. I'm showing you what it took for me to become a good, profitable, consistent trader. If you're running into different issues, let us know and we can help. We have not just myself as a resource, but I have, like I said, a network of professional traders who have had a bunch of different struggles and different things they've had to work through as they became consistent, profitable traders. So I can pull knowledge from them. I can find help for any questions, concerns, anything you might be struggling with as a trader. And we'll put it out. We'll put it into newsletter. We'll put it into YouTube videos. We have more YouTube videos that we're planning on rolling out as we get everything going here. Again, going to start trying to go live a little bit more to show some more trades, to show you guys what a trading day is like for me. And yeah, so again, subscribe to Market Insights Trading Trends. Go ahead, if you're on YouTube, whatever you're watching this on, give it a like, give us a follow. If you want to catch the other lives, turn on notifications on something. I post about it on X, LinkedIn, and we'll always go live on YouTube. So those are your places you can find us. I will again update on X or LinkedIn how this trade ends and what our final profits are. I actually don't want to move that low yet. We're gonna leave that there. We'll wait for this next little move to potentially happen before we move that down further. But again, locked in profits, tracking everything on Collective 2, market insights, trading trends. Give us a follow there. If you're into AI, follow me, Kyle Tusing. Um, I'll be posting a lot about AI, how we use it to build the back end of market insights, trading trends, and help put out more content, do more within the business while also being able to focus solely on stocks, giving you guys the best and the most actionable information that you can take from our newsletter, our content, and implement it into your trading and actually put it on the charts and turn it into real profit in your wallet. So that's the goal here. If you're already trading, check out the Etsy dashboard with the trade log, the risk calculator, everything you need to track and be a consistently profitable trader. That's all I have for today. We're going to go ahead and shut this stream down. I will let everyone know when we're potentially doing another live stream. May try and get one more in this week. Again, like I said, we publish our newsletter tomorrow on Thursday. That's a really busy day for us. We'll be making sure all of our picks are ironed in and all of the ideas are set up so that you can take action and trade them and ideally profit in the next week or so. So may not be able to go live tomorrow, but maybe a quick live Friday session. We'll keep you updated and see how the charts and how the markets are setting up. If that Friday session is even going to be worth trading. Again, we made 1,000 today, so we could take the next 2 days off, and it really wouldn't be that big of a hit. We got our profit until another trade sets up. That's all I have. I'll catch you guys in the next one. So we're gonna go ahead and close this live down. Hope everybody enjoyed it. And yeah, that's all I got. So catch you guys later. Again, subscribe to the newsletter. Be on the lookout for our newsletter edition coming out tomorrow. And I will catch you guys in the next live session or in the next video.